Look at your feet or hands right now. Honestly, without making excuses for your age. If even one nail has turned yellow, cloudy, started to flake or thicken, you have most likely already covered it with expensive varnishes, bought drops from pharmacy shelves, and maybe even taken pills on your neighbour's advice. And then what? A month or two is tolerable, then everything returns, as if you are mowing the grass but leaving the roots in the ground. Good health to you. My name is Dr. John Myler. I am 48 years old, with half a century of practice behind me. And today I will not talk about beautiful nails for the sake of beauty. I will talk about how fungus slowly but surely steals your activity. Because when your nail hurts, crumbles, and presses when you walk, you start sparing your foot. And when you spare your foot, you stop walking. And when you stop walking, you lose muscles, coordination, and the joy of movement. This is not about aesthetics. This is about quality of life, and I promise you right now, at the end of this video, I will give you one simple daily action table for 7 days. No prescriptions, no thousands of rubles, just a protocol. But first, I must tell you the truth that pharmacies do not tell you. Nail fungus is not dirt. It is a living, intelligent organism. It is called onychomycosis. It does not lie on top like residue on a cup. It burrows into your nail from the inside, like a bark beetle burrows into wood. And when you apply varnish on top, you are painting the door behind which the enemy is hiding. The penetrating ability of most ointments is less than 5%. 5. You pay 1,000 rubles for 5 kopecks to do the work. I went through this myself 20 years ago. I caught fungus in an ordinary sauna, bought the most expensive treatment, applied it for 3 months, and lost. The fungus returned 6 months later. Then I sat down with medical journals and university research and found a simple thing. Victory is only possible when you attack the fungus from 2 sides, outside and inside, simultaneously. Not the nail first and immunity later, but together. Today I will break down this method step by step, and the first thing you must understand is that your standard pharmacy kit is a mistake. Because you are not destroying the enemy's fortress wall, and without that, even the most expensive oil will pass right by. Imagine that the fungus is soldiers inside a concrete bunker, and your diseased nail is a wall half a centimetre thick. Ointments, varnishes, and drops are water pistols that you fire from outside. They simply do not reach. The fungus sits inside, in warmth and comfort, feeding on the keratin of your nail. It feels good, it feels comfortable, and until you open the gates of the fortress, nothing will change. This is what all the instructions for medications are silent about. They write, apply to a clean, dry nail. But no one says, first, destroy the upper dead layer. Because if your nail is smooth, dense, and shiny, even the most powerful substance will remain on the surface, like rain on asphalt. Here is what you actually need to do. Once every 3 days, not every day, pay attention. Take a disposable abrasive nail file. Not metal. Metal files micro-scratch the living part of the nail and create additional entry points for infection. You need a soft, disposable file with a grit of about 180 to 240. And you carefully file off the upper loose layer of the affected nail. You will see a fine white dust. That is not nail dust. That is fungal keratin, dead tissue filled with spores. And here is the most important thing. Immediately after you finish filing, you throw the file away, directly into a closed trash bag. Never use it again. Why? Because millions of fungal spores remain on that file. If you put it in your drawer and use it again next week, you will transfer the infection to a clean, healthy area of the nail. I have seen patients who treated one nail for a year but infected 3 others because they reused the same file. After you have filed the nail, it becomes porous, like a sponge. Now, and only now, the medicine can actually get inside. Without this step, everything you apply afterwards is a waste of money. But with this step, even simple home remedies begin to work like prescription drugs. So remember, filing first, then treatment. This order cannot be changed. And do not be afraid to file away the ugly, yellow, crumbly parts. You are not damaging the living nail. You are removing the enemy's shield. Now let us move on to what exactly you will apply to this prepared nail. There is a natural substance that has been tested in serious medical studies. One of them was conducted at the University of Rochester in the United States. And the conclusion was this: 100% pure tea tree oil works against nail fungus just as effectively as expensive pharmaceutical antimycotics. Not better, but equally, at a fraction of the price. But there is a catch. Most of the tea tree oil sold in stores, and even in pharmacies, is diluted. It smells nice, but it does not kill fungus. You need an oil with a terpenine 4-ol content of at least 30%. Terpenine 4-ol is the active ingredient that literally penetrates the fungal cell wall and explodes it from the inside. Look at the label. If the bottle does not list the percentage, do not buy it. How to use it properly. Every evening after your foot bath, and I will tell you about the bath in a moment, you take 1 or 2 drops of this oil and apply it to the filed nail and the skin around it. Just 1 or 2 drops. You do not need to pour half a bottle. Gently massage for 10 to 15 seconds. The oil should be absorbed, not drip off. But here is what no one tells you. Tea tree oil alone, even the best one, is not enough for advanced cases. It is like a good soldier without a strategy. Because fungus is extremely adaptable. If you use only one weapon for too long, the fungus learns to survive. This is why pharmaceutical companies love to sell single-ingredient drugs. You use them for a month, they seem to work, then the fungus mutates slightly and comes back stronger. That is why in my 30 years of practice, wait, I have half a century of practice, but this method has been perfected over the last 30 years. In my long practice, I have always combined tea tree oil with something that creates an environment where fungus simply cannot live. And this something is not a drug. It is common food vinegar, specifically apple cider vinegar, but not the way you think. Do not apply undiluted vinegar to your skin. You will get a chemical burn. And do not take it internally for fungus. That is useless. The correct way is a foot bath with a precise proportion. 1 part apple cider vinegar to 3 parts warm water. Not hot, warm. You soak your feet for exactly 20 minutes before applying the oil. Why does this work? Because fungus loves an alkaline environment. That is why baking soda does not help. It makes the environment even more alkaline, which makes the fungus grow faster. But vinegar creates a slightly acidic pH. At that pH, the fungus stops multiplying. It does not die immediately, but it stops having children, so to speak. And while the fungus is stunned, the tea tree oil delivers the killing blow. Now, let me tell you about the internal attack. Because fungus on the nails is not just a local problem. Here is a hard truth that most doctors will not tell you in a short appointment. If you have persistent nail fungus that keeps coming back, your immune system is giving you a signal. The fungus is just the visible part of the iceberg. Under the surface, your body is tired, your gut microflora may be disturbed, and your defences are lower than they should be. You can treat the nail externally for a whole year. You can file it, oil it, vinegar it, and the fungus will still return the moment you stop. Why? Because your blood and your lymphatic system still carry fungal metabolites. Your body has gotten used to the presence of the fungus and has stopped fighting it. You have to wake up your internal army, and there is one product available in any kitchen that does this better than expensive immune boosters. It is ordinary garlic. But not raw garlic swallowed in a hurry. The active substance in garlic is called allicin. Allicin is a natural antibiotic. It has been shown in studies to be as powerful as some prescription antifungal tablets, but without destroying your liver. Here is the nuance. If you simply swallow a clove of garlic, you get almost no allicin. Allicin is not present in the intact clove. It is formed when you crush or chop the garlic and expose it to air. After crushing, you must wait 15 minutes, exactly 15. During this time, an enzymatic reaction occurs and allicin is synthesized. If you cook the garlic, the allicin is destroyed by heat. If you swallow it immediately, you get almost nothing. So here is the protocol. Take 2 cloves of fresh garlic, crush them with a press or chop finely. Leave them on a plate for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, do not chew. Chewing releases the sharp compounds that cause bad breath and stomach irritation. Instead, place the crushed garlic on a small piece of bread, fold it like a pill, and swallow whole with a sip of water. Do this once a day, preferably in the evening, for 3 months. Not 2 weeks, not 1 month, 3 months. Because a toenail grows completely in 4 to 6 months, and the fungus hides in the nail matrix, the root of the nail. You need 3 full months of internal support to cleanse that root. And here is what else changes when you take garlic properly. Your intestinal flora begins to shift. Bad bacteria and yeast, including candida, which is a relative of nail fungus, start to die off. Your immune system wakes up. Patients tell me that after the 2nd month, they notice that small cuts heal faster, that they catch colds less often, and that their energy improves. The nail fungus is just the first domino to fall. But there is one more thing you must do. Otherwise, you will reinfect yourself every single morning. You have done everything correctly. You filed the nail, you applied tea tree oil with vinegar soaks. You have been taking crushed garlic internally for 2 months. The nail looks cleaner. A healthy pink area has appeared at the base. You are happy. And then you put on your old slippers, or your winter boots from last year. And within a week, the yellow returns. This is the most heartbreaking pattern I see in my practice. A patient does everything right for 3 months, but forgets about the shoes. And the shoes are worse than the nail. Why? Because the nail is a dry, hard surface. Spores do not survive that long on a dry, hard nail that is being treated. But inside a shoe, it is dark, warm, humid. There is dead skin, sweat, and keratin dust. That is a 5-star hotel for fungal spores. They can live there for 18 months or longer. So here is your hard rule. First, throw away all old insoles. Do not wash them. Do not try to save them. Insoles cost almost nothing. Buy new ones, preferably made of natural materials or special anti-fungal materials. Throw the old ones directly into the outside trash. Second, treat the inside of every pair of shoes you have worn in the last 3 months. You have 2 options. The cheap option is chlorhexidine at a concentration of 0.5%. Buy it at the pharmacy. Spray the inside of each shoe generously. Let them dry for 24 hours away from heat. Do not put them on a radiator. Heat can destroy some disinfectants, but more importantly, rapid drying can crack the shoe material. Just room temperature, 24 hours. The more expensive but more convenient option is a UV shoe dryer. These devices look like a foot with ultraviolet lamps. You put your shoes on them for 6 to 8 hours and the UV light kills spores without any chemicals. If you have recurring fungus, buy one. It will pay for itself in 2 months of saved medication. Third, socks. Only 100% cotton, no synthetics. Synthetics trap moisture. Moisture is food for fungus. Wash your socks at a temperature of at least 60 degrees Celsius. At 40 degrees, the fungus survives. I checked. Many washing machines have a 60-degree mode. Use it. If your fabric does not tolerate 60 degrees, buy different socks. Fourth, and this is the hardest for many people, replace your soft, warm, fuzzy house slippers. Those felt or sheepskin slippers are the #1 reservoir of fungus in your home. You treat your feet, then you put them into warm, dark, moist felt, and you reinfect yourself in 30 minutes. Instead, buy rubber flip-flops or washable plastic clogs. You should be able to wash your house shoes with soap and water every evening, just like you wash your feet. Now let me tell you about a forgotten remedy that costs about 70 rubles. There is an old Soviet pharmacy product called iodinol. It is still sold today. It costs almost nothing, about 70 rubles. It is a solution of iodine in polyvinyl alcohol. Ordinary iodine tincture evaporates too quickly and burns the skin. Iodinol is different. It releases iodine slowly over several hours without burning. How does this help against fungus? Iodine is a powerful oxidizing agent. It destroys fungal cell membranes on contact. In laboratory studies, iodine solutions kill dermatophyte fungi, the family that causes nail fungus, within 60 seconds of contact. The problem is that on a smooth, intact nail, iodine does not penetrate. But on a nail that you have filed 3 times a week, remember step 1, iodine penetrates beautifully. Here is my protocol for advanced or stubborn cases. Do not use this if your fungus is very mild. But if you have thick, yellow, deformed nails that have not responded to other treatments, then do this. In the morning, apply 1 drop of iodinol to the filed nail. Let it dry for 5 minutes. Do not put on socks immediately. Let the iodine work. In the evening, do your vinegar foot bath for 20 minutes. Then apply tea tree oil as I described earlier, and continue your internal garlic. Why this sequence? Because iodine and tea tree oil work through different mechanisms. Iodine oxidizes. Tea tree oil disrupts the cell wall. The fungus cannot develop resistance to both at the same time. It is like attacking an army from 2 sides with 2 completely different weapons. But I must give you a serious warning. Do not use iodinol if you have thyroid disease without consulting your doctor. Iodine absorbs through the nail and skin. For a healthy person, the amount is negligible. For someone with hyperthyroidism or autoimmune thyroiditis, even small amounts can be problematic. So if you have a thyroid condition, skip this step. Tea tree oil and garlic alone will still work, just more slowly. Also, do not use iodinol for more than 3 months continuously. After 3 months, take a break of at least 1 month. Iodine can accumulate in the body. At the doses we are using here, 1 drop per day, accumulation is very low. But I believe in the principle of doing no harm. So 3 months on, 1 month off. And here is a bonus observation from my practice. Patients who add iodinol to their protocol see visible improvement at the base of the nail within 10 to 14 days. Without iodinol, the same improvement takes 3 to 4 weeks. So iodinol roughly doubles the speed. For a toenail that needs 4 to 6 months to fully grow out, that is a significant saving. Now let me talk about something that most doctors never mention, your diet. You are doing all the external steps. You are filing the nail, you are applying tea tree oil, you are taking garlic, you have disinfected all your shoes, and still the fungus lingers. It does not go away completely. It retreats, but does not surrender. When I see this in my patients, I ask one question. What do you eat for breakfast? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is sweet tea or coffee with sugar, white bread with jam, sweet yogurt, sugary cereal. Perhaps a glass of juice, which, from a sugar perspective, is almost the same as soda. Here is the biological fact that changes everything. 1 teaspoon of sugar suppresses your immune system for approximately 4 hours. 4 hours, not by a little bit, by about 50%. The white blood cells that normally hunt and kill fungi, they become sluggish, they move more slowly, they ingest fewer pathogens. Fungi, on the other hand, love sugar, they feast on it. When your blood sugar rises after a meal, the fungus in your nails gets a direct delivery of its favourite food. You are not just feeding yourself, you are feeding the enemy. So for the duration of your treatment, 3 to 4 months minimum, I ask you to make 3 changes. First, remove all added sugar. No sugar in tea or coffee, no sweets, no pastries, no sweetened drinks. Read labels. Sugar hides everywhere, in ketchup, in bread, in sauces. Do your best. Second, remove yeast products. White bread made with baker's yeast, beer, and to a lesser extent, wine. Why? Because the family of fungi that cause nail fungus, dermatophytes, are distant cousins of baker's yeast. They recognize each other's chemical signals. When you eat yeast, you are, in a sense, sending a chemical message to the fungus in your nail that says, "Good food is coming, grow stronger." Replace yeast bread with unleavened flatbread, pita, or rye crackers without yeast. Third, remove or strictly limit alcohol, especially beer and sweet liqueurs. Alcohol is sugar plus yeast. It is a double hit for the fungus. And alcohol directly impairs your liver's ability to clear fungal toxins from your blood. What can you eat? Vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables. Protein, eggs, lean meat, fish, legumes. Healthy fats, olive oil, nuts, seeds. Whole grains in moderation, but not wheat-based. Buckwheat, quinoa, oats. And drink plenty of plain water. I promise you, if you make these 3 dietary changes for just 3 months, in combination with the external protocol I have described, filing, vinegar soaks, tea tree oil, and internal garlic, you will see a result that will surprise you. The new nail growing from the base will be pink, smooth, and healthy. The old yellow part will gradually move forward until you cut it off completely. Now, as I promised at the beginning, here is your 7-day table of actions. Print it or write it down. Morning. Check your nails. File any loose yellow layer with a disposable file. Throw the file away. Apply 1 drop of iodinol if your case is advanced and you have no thyroid issues. Evening. 20-minute foot bath with 1 part apple cider vinegar to 3 parts warm water. Dry thoroughly. Apply 1 to 2 drops of tea tree oil with at least 30% terpenen 4-ol to the nail and surrounding skin. Internal. Once a day, crush 2 cloves of garlic, wait 15 minutes, then swallow on a piece of bread like a pill. Hygiene. Wash socks at 60 degrees. Spray shoes with chlorhexidine or use a UV dryer. Change to washable house slippers. Diet. No added sugar, no yeast bread, no beer, minimal alcohol. If you follow this for 4 to 6 months, the full growth cycle of a new toenail, you will not recognize your feet. And more importantly, you will walk without pain, without shame, without limping. Write the word garlic in the comments if you are ready to begin this path to health. Subscribe to the channel. Here we speak about medicine honestly and affordably.